Big time.
On today's episode of Big Time, the podcast brought to you by BJ's Tavern, the greatest bar in all the land. Go check them out, Main Street, Forket, Maine, an absolute iconic establishment. On today's episode, we've got the original J.R. Swish, the three-point marksman for some of those best basketball teams Forket has ever seen. Class of 1996, Jason Nadeau on this week's episode of Big Time. Let's go.
I'm on my way, I'm making it. Big time. Big time. I got to make it show, yeah. Big time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another round of this absolutely incredible show we call Big Time, the podcast. Back up here in the native lands, Forket, Maine, for today's episode. We got class of, 96? Jason Nadeau in the building. Actually, we're in Jason Nadeau's building. We're coming live from Jason Nadeau's basement for this week's episode of Big Time. Jason, say hello real quick.
Hello, Big Time.
Yeah, give him a big time right there. All right, so we're here with Jason, like I said, class of 96. I remember Jason as the sharpshooting specialist for those great mid-90s basketball teams, right? I know you was a basketball player. We're going to go back there. We're going to talk about it all because I'm sure you got some great stories and you can tell us a thing or two. So let's take it all the way back. Let's take it back to the childhood.
All right. How far back do you want to go?
We're going to go. Let's go all the way back. Forket, Maine, I'm guessing. Born and raised.
Born and raised, yep.
Where were you? Where'd you grow up? What neighborhood are we talking about?
We're talking about Park Circle.
Park Circle. So who we got? Anyone in the neighborhood that you kind of came up with? Or?
Everyone. Derek McBriarty, the Compagnon family, Tom DeVoe, the Babbins, J.R. Albert. I mean, there was a whole slew of us, enough to make 2 baseball teams around that place.
And all guys the same age, or?
Within probably 5 or 6 years of each other, from lowest to the oldest people around. Yep.
See, and times were different back then. You guys were in the neighborhood, playing outside.
Yep. You played outside until your parents yelled for supper, and then your parents yelled again when it was time to go home.
There you go. Yeah, they don't do that no more. It's
I don't think so.
A little bit different now. And actually, I just realized I forgot to ask an important question. What are we sipping on tonight for today's episode?
Oh, for tonight, I bought some Yingling from Massachusetts last time I went to visit. So
there we go.
That's what we're sipping on.
First time Yingling has been mentioned on the podcast. That's what we're sipping on tonight. So, so you came up with a bunch of just great kids playing outside.
Yeah.
Was it all athletics? Were you guys getting into other stuff as well?
Well,
mischievous kids.
We played a lot of sports. We played anything from basketball to flag football. When it was dark, we'd play a hide and seek around the neighborhood, and eventually that led to other things. But it was a lot of fun growing up in Park Circle. It was endless nights of just having a blast, man. It was different back then.
Yeah, and from there. What'd you get into? Were you? I know like the rec scene or like the summer scene was different back then. Yeah. So what were the summers like when you were coming up in Forket?
Oh, when we were real young, we all did rec. We played all the sports. We did the traveling teams, and then seasonally we did rec basketball at a young age.
Yeah.
Lucas Levac's mother was one of my first coaches. Jeannie.
Madame.
Jeannie.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She was my first rec basketball coach. And then, I've had some pretty interesting coaches over the years.
Yeah, I want to get to that because I feel like, at least for school basketball, like the school basketball teams, it was the same coaches like from the 70s all the way up to when I was going through. But how about, let's get back into rec. So, the summer rec program,
mm-hmm.
Who were some of the counselors back then?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. We had like Nathan Gee and Adrian Marquis. Neely was for a while, Neely Joler.
Yeah.
Other than that, those are the ones that stood out to me. I guess I'm drawing a blank on a few others. How
about the lifeguards? Remember any of the lifeguards from back then?
I didn't spend much time swimming.
No.
I played a lot of sports.
Yeah. I don't remember the lifeguards either. Now that I think of it, but back then that was the cool summer job to have though. Like the summer counselors and the rec counselors were pretty cool. So,
yeah.
So you mentioned rec basketball. Who were some of the coaches at that point? Because usually it's like kids' parents that were coaching like the rec teams and stuff like that.
I remember Dave Michaud, the janitor at the elementary school.
Yes, he had a dynasty. The Bulls teams.
Yeah. And then Jeannie Nadeau had a team, which was Lucas and Matt Thibodeau and I. Excuse me. And then, God, I'm drawing a blank on other coaches. I'm thinking more of the middle school ones because it was Mr. Murray and Don Daigle, and I actually had Jamie Desjardins for middle school. Yeah.
Louis Moore must have been there.
He was. Yeah, back then we had at least 3 or 4 teams, and then we played, Eagle Lake and St. Francis, and that was the extent of our traveling back then.
Yeah, was Gary Thibodeau coaching St. Francis back then?
He was.
I feel like he's just a legend, just an icon.
And he was, and it was always interesting when Bob Thibodeau would do the reffing for those games. Yeah. The two of them would go back and forth, John, during the games.
I can imagine. So, I'm guessing Dave Minzy wasn't coaching at that point, not basketball at least.
No, he was the high school soccer coach at the time.
Was he a phys ed teacher at least?
He was.
Okay, so you had Dave Minzy young.
Yep.
Let's go back to rec real quick. So I always get a kick out of who was good back then at that age because it tends to be like when you're younger, like the biggest kids are the best players. They don't always pan out.
Yeah, for us, a few kids that you wouldn't think of as regular athletes, excelled, like Ryan Nicholas and a few kids like that.
That's a name that I haven't heard in a while right there, Ryan Nicholas.
Yeah, he was a classmate of mine. Yeah. But back then, like Chad Markey and Chad Bushy and all those guys like dominated that in Little League, and it was fun. It was fun. Little League was a lot different back then. Yeah, all the teams were stacked, and it was unbelievable.
So you were playing basketball, baseball, Little League baseball, soccer as well.
I did soccer until 8th grade, and then in high school I guess I didn't have the love for it, so I didn't play it.
So more basketball and baseball were your two calling cards.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
In Little League, who were you afraid of when they were on the mound? Like, who was just throwing heat back then?
Oh, God. Each team at least had 1 or 2 good players, like Lon Berthium, Chad Bush.
Lon Berthium? Who's this Lon Berthium guy?
Oh, God. Lonnie. Lots of stories with Lonnie, I'm sure. Chad Bush, he threw gas. Chad Markey, like I said, he was really fast. And then on IGA at the time, there was the Compagnons that threw pretty hard. And, pretty much each team had a couple good fastball pitchers, but we had our own too. We started the first year of JC's. It was myself, Eric Raymond, Jim Gramazon, Paul Duhane, Robin Lavasser.
All kinds of names being dropped right now.
Yeah. And we had a really good team right from the get-go. And, it was Little League was a lot of fun. Brings back a lot of memories.
The best thing about Little League, looking back now, were the team names like IGA, Irving, JC's.
That's right, Irving had a team.
Like Lions Club.
Rotary Lions.
Yeah. Just some classic names. Those jerseys would be throwbacks if someone could get their hands on those right there.
Yeah, I'm sure they're around somewhere too. Ann doesn't throw anything out.
No, they got to be around somewhere. They should bring those back.
Yep.
Did you guys put together like a travel team at that young to go and play? I know like what we did was in the summertime at least, they put together like a little team to go to the county tournament.
Yeah, we did that for baseball. I think most of us fell into the Pony League category. So we were quite young playing up kind of. Yeah. I think Burby Time played in that too there. Yeah. Yeah. We never did that great. You'd see who your competition is, and you see them driving themselves to the games. You kind of knew you were in for a long day.
Right. Who were some of the standout athletes from the middle school days here?
Oh, each town had their own. You go to St. Francis, and you have Corey Tibbs and.
It's true. So you played against Corey Tibbs in middle school.
Yeah, and Jeff Taggett. He was the other guy from St. Francis that was pretty big.
So the first time you would have played against Corey Tibbs would have been
6th, 7th, 8th grade. Yeah.
Was he just a man-child back then?
He was even a man-child then.
Playing for his dad, so I'm guessing his dad just gave him the ball.
Oh, yeah, it was just feed the post. That's all it was all day long.
How much bigger was he compared to everyone else back then? Was he pretty much full-grown like in 6th grade?
Don't forget, we had Matt Thibodeau.
Oh, so that's true.
It was 2 giants, down in the paint there, smacking back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had someone to match up with Corey.
So Corey was from St. Francis. Did Eagle Lake ever have anyone good? Because I only remember one Eagle Lake guy from your days.
Chad Tardy.
Yeah. Was he any good in middle school?
He was good in middle school, and back then he had the Nadeaus, like Jeff Nadeau.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. There was another good player or two from there.
What about the Drolets? Were you there when the Drolets were there?
Jeff was in Lucas's class, so he was a year younger. So yeah, I saw him a little bit. Jason was younger, and I don't, I play with him in men's league now. I don't remember watching him play very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the Fort Kent team, there must have been a couple good players. We haven't heard Ryan Martin's name at all yet.
Yeah. Well, see, we were always split up, so it usually was like Matt Thibodeau and I on one team, and then Joey was in and Ryan, and we split up players. It was tough to make a really good Fort Kent team because we were splitting them up amongst two or three teams.
That's what's up too, because like I happened to go through the time where St. Francis was stacked.
Yep.
And they probably won like 3 out of the 4 that I was in middle school. But like had we just had a Fort Kent team, we would have absolutely smacked them. But
yep.
So they came to high school at that point thinking they were the shit, but it wasn't the case because once you pull the Fort Kent guys together, it was a different story.
Oh yeah, and for the Fort Kent guys, like we may not have played on the same teams together, but we were going to all the basketball camps together. We used to go to NMTC at the time because that's what it was at the time. So we used to go to Bill Cassavant's camps. Yeah. And God, we met all the kids from all over the county. Like growing up then was different in that sense. Like I knew Matt Townsend from Mars Hill, and you knew all the good players from all the surrounding county teams, which was made for a fun basketball season every year.
Did you go do any of the other camps? Usually when I talk to guys, they did a lot of the county camps. Like I did like Kobe camp down in Kobe. I traveled south a couple times for those. You ever do any of those camps?
I only did the UMO camp for baseball.
Yeah.
That was the only one that I did. I did a John Winkham camp for a week with Corey Terrio, and Eric Raymond and I went down.
Yeah. Yep. So we mentioned you playing against Corey. I just want to kind of touch on the guys that kind of became like your teammates once you were in high school.
And really good friends, actually.
Really good friends, yeah. So what was it like playing back then? Was it pretty intense in middle school? Like, was it pretty physical games? And
yeah.
Didn't like each other? And
oh, yeah. You always wanted to beat the crap out of the other team. You know? They were high-scoring games. It was fast-paced. It's everything you can think it was. I mean, you saw us play in high school with Murph. It was the run-and-gun offense. We were going to outrun everybody. Maybe we weren't going to outshoot everybody, but we can outrun everyone around.
Yeah.
So.
What was it like going into the cage in St. Francis? Were they pretty rowdy fans back then? Because that was like a tough place to play.
Yeah. You didn't want to take the ball out because you might get something said to you. You didn't want to, and you couldn't say anything back because you'd look bad,
Yeah.
But no, there was no room over there. God, the chairs were on the court just about. And, and Eagle Lake wasn't a whole lot better. It was about the same size.
Yeah. I just remember like those days. Like it was the only time you really got a chance to travel. And one of the highlights for me was actually getting to stop at like the gas station on the way home to get food. Like that was a big deal.
Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah, because we
were
didn't
all
get to
pumped to
travel
stop at an Irving or whatever.
Yeah, like we didn't get to travel. Like we really missed out like the middle school years compared to the other schools in the county and stuff like that. We didn't travel at all. But
yeah, I'm a little envious because I actually coached the middle school baseball team one year a few years back, and God, we were traveling to Presque Isle and Fort Fairfield and Ashland and all over the place. Like a little envious that we didn't get to do that.
Yeah, it would have been nice. It probably would have made a difference too, like in how some of our teams developed over the years, just being exposed to better competition. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Here's a random question: who were some of the refs when you were playing in middle school? Because I remember like Corey Thibodeau used to ref our games, and that was like a big deal. Like, oh shit, like Corey's refing the games today. But Corey was a lazy ref.
Yeah, well, he'd call it from the far end,
exactly.
And not get in position. Yeah. God, refs. Well, Bob Thibodeau always did them. God, I'm trying to remember who. Bob Stett used to do them too, because at the time he was the assistant principal, I think, at the high school. So he was doing a lot of those local things. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not.
Not sure. Too far back at this point.
No.
Yeah. Any other random memories from middle school? Anything fun? Did you guys do the 8th grade trip to Augusta back then?
I can't remember if we did or not. I feel like we couldn't fundraise enough money as a class. I feel like we might have been one of the only classes that couldn't do it. Either that or our class was so bad they didn't want to send us. One or the other.
Yeah.
We had a pretty rowdy bunch of students in our class. So
how big did your graduating class wind up being once you guys hit high school?
High school, I believe, was like 141 or something like that, somewhere around there. Yeah, we were still Class B at the time.
Yeah. Any stories from you and your boys in middle school getting in trouble? Were you guys doing anything crazy? Were you guys going to the tracks and
No,
doing things over there?
I was a pretty decent kid in middle school. It's high school years were different, but middle school, we were pretty tame kids.
Mm.
We spent most of our time just playing basketball outside, even on the rims in the outside the elementary school.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what were you guys playing? Because they have Riverside Park now, but back then it was just the rims behind the elementary school. Right?
Yeah, and we'd even play in the wintertime when you had snowbanks and you can use them to launch yourself and dunk.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It was pretty fun and dangerous at the same time.
Absolutely. Let's see if you remember school dances. You remember who you went to like your 8th grade prom with?
8th grade.
I just like bringing up names. I like just people name dropping. So
8th grade, I believe Amy Levac.
Okay.
Mickey Levac's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
Was did you go pick her up and Mickey was there? Did he give you a little talk or?
Oh, I don't think so. I'm sure we picked her up though.
Yeah.
It's pretty foggy. I haven't thought about that stuff in 30 years. Holy
Right.
smokes.
Yeah, we like to bring up random things on Big Time.
Yeah, well, that was a good one.
So let's fast forward to high school. So as a freshman, guessing you played basketball, played baseball.
Yeah.
Freshman teams back then.
We had freshman teams for basketball and baseball.
Freshman teams for baseball.
We did, yeah. But I was lucky enough to make the varsity team as a freshman, so that was kind of fun. Started in right field, which was a position I'd never played before. So
they got you on the field, though.
They got me on the field, yeah.
Were the baseball teams ever good? That's a question I have, because I never followed baseball. Even when I was in high school, I didn't go to a baseball game.
Well, I would say we're probably middle of the pack for the most part. Usually finishing around 8-8, or games we should have won and blown, or games we should have won and were hungover, things like that. But kind of baseball's always been a throwaway sport around here.
Yeah,
even back then. But I thought we were pretty talented for what we were. You know?
Tough schedule. Playing Class B back then. Playing a bunch of good schools.
Yep.
A couple Class A teams on the schedule.
Yeah.
So
we played the Caribou. The Caribou was A at the time. Mm-hmm. And Presque Isle was A, and then we played Holton in B.
Yeah. Was that it? Back then, was it just Holton and Fort Kent for Class B in the county?
It was.
Yeah, so it was us, Holton, and then Caribou and Presque Isle were the big schools.
Yeah, because Hodgson and Callis and the other teams that we used to play were all C back then.
Yeah. But still, nonetheless, just a bunch of really good teams. I feel like all those schools, like Holton's always been they were a basketball powerhouse in the 90s and 2000s.
And even Hodgson was. They won a couple state championships back to back when Sam Henderson was there. They're all state players. So.
Yeah. So how about for basketball? Who was your freshman year basketball coach?
My freshman year coach. Oh. God, I might have to look that up.
You might need to bust out some yearbooks or something.
I got some, actually. If you want to, we can. I'm trying to remember who the freshman year coach was. Drawing a blank. We can look it up, though, if you want.
Yeah, we might have to. Or whoever's listening to the episode, just send me a message and we can fact check and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So who were some of the guys you were playing freshman ball with?
Freshman ball, it was like Chad Tardy and I, and Matt Thibodeau. Corey and Ryan had made varsity. I think Jeff Taggett might have played that year. Eric Raymond.
Yeah.
So
Eric was the same class. Was he the same age? Didn't he jump ahead a year, or didn't he skip a year?
Yeah, he was in my class, but he should have been a year behind. He jumped like kindergarten or something like that.
So he came up though all with you guys.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Yeah, I've known Eric since Little League. Him and I played on their first Little League team together. Yeah.
So freshman ball, was it a full schedule? Did you guys play?
Yeah, we played a pretty big schedule. It wasn't the full 18. We probably played 12 or 14, something like that.
Yeah, still crazy though. Like there was enough guys back then.
Oh yeah,
you had 3 full teams and stuff like that.
Plenty. Yeah.
But you guys had to play at the shitty times because obviously varsity was 7 o'clock, JV was 5:30. So you guys were playing just on random nights or right after school sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes if a team didn't have a JV team, they might have a freshman team, so they'd pull us to some, but we'd travel alone sometimes too. Yeah. So were you guys just traveling just for straight freshman games, like freshman team versus freshman team? Yep. And sometimes you guys play JV teams, but they didn't have freshman teams. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it was good though. I mean, you guys got your reps in and stuff like that as a freshman and stuff.
Oh yeah, freshman year was a lot of fun. It was probably one of my best scoring years ever.
What are we talking about for numbers here? And
Oh, I
Any
averaged about
recollection?
27.
27 as a freshman?
As a freshman. They only went downhill from there. So.
Were you just getting up threes? Has three-point shooting always been your thing, or where does the three-point shooting come from?
I practiced a lot. I mean, my driveway at my house in Park Circle was just narrow and straight. So, basically, if I'm at the top of the key, I just kept shooting further. Just kept going back and found a touch for it. It's just, like anything else, it's repetition.
Yeah.
And then you can do it with your eyes closed. We used to play in the dark at it was Clover Hill at the time.
Oh.
We were up there and they had set up a basketball court and
I didn't
the lights on.
I didn't know you were a Clover Hill alum.
Oh, yeah.
We've had a bunch of guys roll through there. Like Chad talked about it on his episode. Me and Charles came up on that court. Aaron Dumois used to play on there. Like, just...
we used to play against Derek Ryu up there, too.
Yeah.
He used to be up there. Yeah. We all played on that court. Corey.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Corey used to camp.
Yeah.
His parents used to be there, too.
And they're actually still there now in Loons Echo.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, 27 a game as a freshman.
Yep.
3-point shooting as a freshman.
Yeah, a little bit more versatile, actually, and used to drive more and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I remember you was like the 3-point specialist on those great teams, but like back then, like growing up, were you a little bit more of everything? Were you?
Yeah, I had a much better mid-range shot and stuff like that. That kind of fails me now. But
is it safe to say that Ryan Martin and Corey Thibodeau held you back? Is it?
Wow, no, we're not going to go that far. No. No, when you get into the varsity game, you kind of have a role.
Yeah.
You're assigned a role, and you do your best to fulfill it the way you should. And Murph saw a specialty in me, and design plays around it, and that's what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
So sophomore year, varsity at that point, or JV, or
JV, and then swung a little bit. Yeah, mostly JV.
Remember who your JV coach was your sophomore year?
I think it was Lauren Gee, actually.
Yeah, I remember him being on the sidelines for a little bit.
Yeah, it was Lauren Gee, and actually, it might have been Wade McLaughlin might have been my freshman year coach. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, because I have a random memory. Like I remember the most random things, and one of the most random things I remember is you guys' senior year when you guys went to the tournament. I used to collect the booklets, like the programs at the auditorium.
Yeah,
I still have them somewhere. I probably still have yours. And I remember like the coaching staff and the pictures. I remember seeing Wado. I remember seeing Gee.
Standing next to each other.
Just extreme height difference.
Oh God, 3-foot difference there.
Yeah. So Wado must have been coaching something. I don't think he was just a full-time assistant. He must have been coaching the freshman team.
I think he was probably doing the freshman team. Now that I think back on it, there. Yeah.
So JV, same thing. Were you the go-to guy sophomore year?
Yeah, myself and probably Jody Nadeau and Jeff Nadeau. We were all kind of there. I think I was down at 22 points a game.
Dropped a little bit. Yeah.
Only going to go further. Don't worry. I'll drop some more as a junior and senior there. But it was still a lot of fun. Playing the full schedule was nice.
Yeah.
Traveling with the varsity guys and getting to watch those games.
Where'd they stick you guys on the bus? Were you guys stuck in the back or what?
No, I think they wanted the back. I'm pretty sure we had the front of the bus because they wanted to have the fun space out back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And back then, like, because the varsity teams, that's probably like the best teams we've ever seen. That was like one of the best stretches.
It was.
So fans would get to the games early. So I'm guessing like even for JV games, the place was pretty packed.
Oh yeah, for JV it was already packed, and they were all, standing room only, people in doorways, and they'd set up bleachers on the stage. Yeah. Kids hanging over the stage.
That was me. That was me. Yeah.
It was you and like Drew Blee and a few guys like that. Yeah.
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 Was the band playing during JV games at all?
No, not JV games. Up? No. And I think by that point, it might have been my sophomore year. I think the cheerleaders got banned at that point. Then.
Yeah. What's the story with the cheerleaders getting banned? Because I've heard this a couple times now.
Rumor has it, spiked watermelon, and I don't have any proof of it, but supposedly they got caught for drinking. Yeah.
Prior to an event, or was this like prior to a game, or just in like at a party or something? Like just something.
I don't know the full details. I just knew they were there one game and gone the next.
Listen, listeners are big time. I want to get to the bottom of this. If anyone knows what happened to the cheerleaders, either get at me on Facebook or through one of these other means. I want to know what happened. I want to expand big time. I want to get into investigative work, all right? We're going to find out what happened with these cheerleaders. So if you have information, let me know. But back to the podcast with Jason Nadeau. All right, so the cheerleaders weren't there for you guys. Oh, were there JV cheerleaders? No, just the varsity cheerleaders?
Yep.
Okay. So you were traveling with the varsity team.
Yeah.
So that would have been 94?
94.
That was
93,
Lon's
94.
senior year?
Yep.
So that was a pretty good season for the varsity, at least?
Yeah. They had a good run. Actually, probably even starting before that, like Travis Delau's class on there. They had a good run. But, yeah, Lonnie's senior year.
All right, so you're the first guy that we've had on that was around and saw Lon play firsthand. Let me hear your little rundown on Lon Berthiem as a player, as a basketball player. Scouting report.
Scouting report. Scrappy, fast, gets a shot off extremely quickly before you even know it. The shot's up.
Yeah. What was his range? How far out would you say?
I heard on his podcast he said about the Indian head. That was probably about right.
Yeah.
I've seen him drain a little further, but only Steve Paddo can drain it from further than that.
Even today.
Right
now, you throw him out there, you can hit that.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to get to the first round of one of our more popular segments, one of two. Ethan Ask with Ethan Raymond. We're still looking for sponsorship, guys. Hey, somebody get Ethan a sponsor, please. He's busting his ass coming up with these questions. Somebody get him a sponsorship. Ethan, let's get to it.
Today's edition of Ethan Asks Big Time Questions. Jason Nadeau, I haven't talked to you in what seems like decades. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going great. You grew up in an era of jerry curls and mullets, and I think everybody rocked one at some point. Did you ever rock the jerry curl or the mullet or a combination of both? And if you didn't, was there one out there? Did anyone rock one that you were jealous of?
Great question, Ethan.
It is a great question. No, I never rocked a mullet. I never let my hair grow that long, but I did those racing stripes and your number in your hair and all that kind of shit there.
Yeah.
For us, the only ones that I can really think of are like Brad Courier. Chad Bushy had a little bit of a mullet for a while, but he also had the porn stash to go with it. So, yeah, that's about
Great combo.
About the extent, yeah.
So you got firsthand to see some really good games and some really good teams that year.
Yep.
And I'm guessing it just made you that much more excited for what we're about to jump into junior year.
Junior year.
So this is when it starts getting good, I'm guessing.
Yeah. The expectations are starting to grow for our basketball team. And,
so they had just made the tournament, right? They made the tournament your sophomore year.
Yep.
First round exit, I'm guessing.
Yes. Yeah.
But you get Ryan Martin back, Corey Thibodeau's back. You make the varsity.
Yep.
So who are we looking at? Matt Thibodeau in the middle.
Matt Thibodeau and I think it was Jeff Nadeau was the other starter with us. But we had like Eric and Jody Nadeau, and I know I'm going to be forgetting some people, and I'm sorry. Jeff Pelletier. Jeffrey Pelletier, yeah. And Robbie McBriarty. Yeah.
Where's Jeff from? We were trying to figure this out. I thought he was from Eagle Lake.
No, he's from the Gash.
No way.
Yeah.
You guys must have had some good shootouts in practice. Like, Jeff's a knockdown shooter.
Jeff Nadeau was a knockdown shooter too. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a bunch of us that all did the same kind of thing. So
who was the starting point guard out of that team? Because I don't think you guys had like a pure point guard.
I think we used Ryan as our pure point guard, and Robbie McBriarty actually probably was in there playing a lot of point for us. Yeah. And when he did that, Ryan would be the 2, and I'd slide to the 3, and Corey 4 and Matt 5.
And this was your first time playing for Murph?
Yeah. Well, we had been to camps and stuff, and I'd been playing with him basically since freshman year a little bit. Yeah.
Was there any adjustment? Because you went through, in terms of coaches, like from Wado to Lauren to Murph, like that's a lot of different personalities.
Yeah, it's a lot of different personalities, but like I said, we've been with Murph for a long time, so he did a lot of the conditioning with us, and kind of had given us a good baseline for what to expect as we got to our junior and senior years.
Yeah, so let's start right from the beginning. So what was preseason like with Coach Murph?
Oh God, you were going to run a lot. It was crushers. It was all sorts of sliding back and forth. You were down in defensive positions. I mean, it was getting you in shape. It was a boot camp. Yeah,
because I was gonna say, like, as times have evolved, so has conditioning and those sports science and stuff like that. We know a little bit more than we did back then. Yeah. Was it safe and was it beneficial what he was putting you through back then? Or
a lot of the stuff we still see around today. Yeah. It was beneficial because I don't think there was one team that could keep up with us.
Yeah.
We scored 80 points a game,
So
or better.
Murph was kind of like ahead of his time by like 20 years. Like he wanted to get up and down, right?
He wanted to get up and down, and he wanted to play hard defense, and that's how we were going to shut you down. So.
Yeah. So did you guys actually have like a set offense, or was it just get the ball and push?
We had some set plays, but a lot of times we had plays off our free throw, or our opponent's free throw. Every once in a while we'd set up a set play or two, but it was a lot of just running back and forth.
Yeah. So what do you remember from that season? I don't know if you guys finished with a win-loss record for that year.
Oh, I think our junior year we might have finished about 12-6 or so.
So losses, I'm guessing, probably Prescott.
No, we didn't lose to them.
You didn't lose to Prescott?
No, we didn't lose to Prescott.
Really?
No, we lost to Caribou. Used to give us a good run.
Holton, maybe?
Holton. Maybe we had a little better record than I thought our junior year. I should have looked this up before we started this podcast. I think we might have lost one to Fort, possibly. But all in all, we didn't really lose to Prescott a whole lot. We had their number while we were playing. Yeah,
I remember that because I remember a couple times going to home games. I remember one in particular. Like I said, I have a very random memory. And Dad brought me to a game when we got there late, and he didn't feel like paying. So we actually went in the front entrance of the building.
Okay.
This is like back then where they used to have like the little doors they kind of close up in entryways.
Yep.
And he kind of passed me through like the door to get in. So we snuck in that way. And then I just remember like Prescott's like baby blue warm-ups they used to wear back then.
Yep.
And I don't remember the outcome of the game, but I remember just baby blue warm-ups in Prescott.
They used to get extremely frustrated with us. They always thought they should be able to beat us, but they couldn't.
Was it close games, or were you guys handling?
We had a few of them that were pretty close. We usually won by at least between 6 and 15.
Yeah.
It wasn't ever too uncomfortable for us. Caribou was always back and forth, and that was a whole different situation. They had some pretty talented players while we were there, and Brett Doody and Chris Funk, and a couple guys like that there they were good players all around.
Yeah. So when it comes to like the county teams, I feel like Prescott and Caribou have and Holton. Those are probably the 3 best environments to go playing on the road. Like I just feel like those are the 3 best gyms to go play in.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you say Caribou probably like the toughest place to play in? Because like those bleachers are huge in Caribou, and I'm guessing they used to pack it back.
Yeah, they did. I actually not too long ago, Murph got me on a kick of watching a few old games and stuff like that.
I was gonna say I remember seeing a game, and I think Ryan Martin hit a game winner.
That's the one I was watching. Yeah, that was our senior year actually.
Okay.
We're going back and forth. We're down 17 at halftime. Murph's kicking trash baskets in the locker room. And, actually, let's back up half a step. The night before, we had a makeup game against Caribou, and we ended up losing to them in overtime by a point at home.
Yeah,
our only home loss on the season, senior year, and so we went and played them the very next night, and we were down. I mean, we looked like dog shit. We weren't playing well. We weren't playing as a team. Shots weren't going in. And then at halftime, we got the speech, we got the talk, and next thing you know, it's tied up as the clock's expiring, and Ryan's in the corner, fading out of bounds, and drills a 3.
That was it.
And that was it. I blinked, and he was at the other end of the court, hanging off the rim.
So, was the game tied prior to his shot, or were you guys down?
It was tied, but the scoreboard showed we were down 1.
Okay.
But it was a tie game at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's this game tape at? How do I get my hands on this thing?
Oh, I got it right in that room next door here, so
right.
you can leave with a few things
it's
tonight if you want to borrow it.
On the YouTube channel here, guys. I'm gonna announce it right now. We're launching Big Time Classics, and it's gonna be coming to the YouTube channel. All these classic games, I'm gonna be putting my own spin on them, and they will be coming to you pretty soon. It's in the works. All right, so that was Big Time Classics.
Yeah.
I already got the logo made up and everything. It's coming. So that's phase 2 of Big Time. So that was your senior year. So you guys lost to him junior year.
To Caribou, yeah, we probably split with them. They had Chris Funk our junior year.
And he was unbelievable, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a big boy, and he could jump through the roof. And, it was like nothing for him to put 40 up against you.
See the best player probably at that time you guys played against?
Yeah, and the following year, Brett Doody did the same thing to us. I think in that game that we just described there, I think he put up 37 on us or 35 on us that game.
Yeah.
He was pretty unbelievable too.
Yeah. I could imagine like going into Caribou back then because they and then On top of like a great gym, they had a great band.
Mm-hmm.
So just the whole environment's crazy. Like great band, great crowd, rowdy crowd, big crowd.
But it was awesome because we had one whole side of the bleachers that was green everywhere we went. We
And that's the
traveled
thing.
so well.
You
It was
guys traveled
awesome.
well back then, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you beat Prescott. Those Holton teams were good too back then.
They were. We had big expectations going into our senior year. I guess we'll just jump into senior year since I remember that one a lot better.
Well, before let's end junior year on a note. Like, so you guys made the tournament.
Yeah, and then we went and got shellacked by Dexter.
Remember, you guys went in as the seed.
We went in as the, I believe, 6th seed.
And is this the game you got dunked on?
It is the game I got dunked on. Yep, I sent you a picture of it because I freeze framed it. Yep. Yeah, and then I met that kid. He ended up going to Husson. Brad Olson was his name. He went to Husson, and I was going to visit my sister at Husson, and I walk into a party over there, and I hear, Jason Nadeau, how the hell are you? And I looked over, and it was a 6'8" giant, and I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, this guy.
This guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That tends to be the way it works sometimes. It happened to me too. Like when I was in high school for Prescott, I had a kid named Chris Coffin. He was a big dude. He used to shoot threes and stuff like that. And we beat him one time, but they handled us for the most part. But I went to a Husson party like randomly on campus one night, like 2 or 3 years later, and I'm taking a piss at a urinal. And then this dude just says, Tom Bard, what's going on? And I look over, and it's this Chris Coffin guy who I couldn't stand in high school. But it's the way it is.
Yep.
So you guys lose to Dexter in a shellacking, you said.
Yeah, I wasn't really close.
Yeah, but you come back senior year, and you got the full squad.
We got the full squad. Starting lineup was Corey and Matt, Ryan, myself, and Chad Tardy.
So when did Chad Tardy come in the picture? Like I remember him senior year, but was he not getting minutes like prior
No,
to that?
his junior year he didn't get a ton of run time. Robbie McBride got the run time. Jeff Neto was there, like I said, and Jody Neto. I mean, when you had to put our names on a scoreboard, you needed a JA, a JE, and a JO up there. Where so many J Netos from Fort Kent.
Yeah. But Tardy was like your defensive guy, right? He was like your defensive specialist.
He was our spark plug. God bless him. He couldn't shoot a free throw. His parents used to pay him for every make he had.
Yeah. And you were the 3-point specialist.
Yeah. As
And,
Murph said, the only guy whose range started when he entered the gym.
That's what he said for you?
Yeah, that's what
a
he said in my
compliment. I'll take that.
our closing end of year ceremony there. That's what he said. Yeah.
And then Matt Thibodeau was the guy in the middle.
That was the guy in the middle and cleaning up Corey's shooting, and Corey was cleaning up his own. That's how he got his 1,000 boards.
Yeah, so 1,000 points, 1,000 boards. And then Ryan Martin was just your guy.
He was just there. He was Mr. Steady, Mr. Rock Steady
So
for us.
let's talk about Ryan real quick, because we have he was brought up a little bit on Lon's episode, but Lon's episode was more about Lon, because Lon is an icon in his own right. Talk to me about Ryan Martin, because that's for Fort Kent when it comes to basketball. Ryan Martin's our guy.
Yeah, Ryan Martin, 1,700 point scorer. But he did it also quietly and so humbly. I mean,
yeah. So I remember the name. I remember going to games, but I was too young to really remember how he went about it. So
yeah.
What kind of player was he?
He was a drive to the hoop guy.
Yeah.
He was going to take you to the hoop, and if you didn't foul him, he was going to make a layup on you. He could stop at the free throw line. By his senior year, he had expanded his range a little bit to the 3-point line.
Yeah.
But yeah, just steady, quiet, and did things the right way. I mean, he just worked at it. He was another guy that just went to camps all the time to make himself better and put time in the gym. He
was solid. He was physically solid, though, right? Like he was kind of like a little man child.
Yeah. He didn't grow super tall. I mean, he was probably about 6 foot. He wasn't any taller than that, but he was like the rest of us. If you watch the videos from our games, even my wife said, "Geez, you guys look like men back then." Because she's like, "Did you guys lift or anything?" No, it's just how we were built back then.
Yeah.
So,
but he could dunk. He had some dunks, right? He was an explosive guy, and
hops through the roof. Yeah, 2 foot jumper. He wasn't a 1-legged dunker. He was off 2 feet. And,
right.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories even back in 8th grade, he was good like he was in high school.
Oh yeah. He was like I said. That's why they always had to split up the group of people, because there was Ryan and then there was the rest of us.
Yeah.
He can control a game whenever he decided to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was he like as a teammate?
Oh, great teammate. That was the thing with our class, especially our senior year. That group of seniors there, we were all great friends. Hung out outside the game. Just unbelievable. You
Yeah.
know, he was unselfish. You know, you might see 30 points in Ryan's scoreline, but you'd also see 5 to 8 assists. You know, he did it all, and the rebounds were there too.
Play defense, just the total package.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, let's get to another round of Ethan asks big time questions.
Your old man was like one of the best basketball fans ever in Fort Kent. That dude used to get fucking rowdy, and he would get at the refs, and it was great. And I'm just wondering, when you got home, how did it make you feel? Like, when you got home, did you tell him to like Dad, just fucking take it down a notch, or were you like, get him, get out there and get him, yell at those dudes, let him have it? How did you deal with it?
That's great. I wish I had heard him being rowdy. Tell you the truth, I didn't really hear shit while I was out there. The only parent that I remember really causing a ruckus was Derek McBride's dad, and he ended up on the court in limestone. But if I would have seen it, I would have encouraged him to keep doing it. But chances are I was too busy being fired up myself. So.
Too busy jacking up threes and just going off. So, senior year, you guys had pretty much everyone back from the year before, like all your core guys at least.
Yep.
Do we have a young Lucas Levac on that team?
We did have a young Lucas Levac.
What about a young John Lozier?
John Lozier was there. Tyler Berthium. He was
Tyler
just as small as Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to remember Eric Raymond.
Wait, is there a
What's
guy
that?
named Bert? Do you guys have a guy named Bert?
Bert Raymond.
Bert Raymond. There we go.
Oh yeah, that guy. He was a he was a brute.
I'm trying to just
Brad Saucier was another one that
Yes.
we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just picturing the your program from the auditorium, and I'm just like trying to think of names and the guys in the picture.
Yeah, and then we had a big Mike Pelletier. He was probably our 12th or 13th guy there. He was from Eagle Lake.
Okay.
A big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the end of the bench guy.
But you guys had everyone pretty much back from the year before. You guys were ready to roll senior year.
We were high expectations. You know, everyone was picking us to do well, and we go to Calais for the first game of the year and drop a dud. We dropped a dud, and so that was pretty discouraging. A couple days later, we go to Holton, dropped a dud there too.
Started off 0-2.
Started off 0-2, and then I think we ran 12 or 13 in a row off after that. And then our only other loss in the regular season was that Caribou overtime loss.
So you guys finished 15-3?
15-3.
God, you guys beat my senior year record. We had a similar thing. We lost our first game to Holton, and we won 11 straight, and we wound up finishing 14-4.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
solid though.
Solid
I
year.
thought you guys finished 14-4 too. So I was gonna say yes.
No,
you guys,
no, 15-3.
Okay, that's solid. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a 9 3-pointer game I believe you had senior year.
Last game of the regular season. We're playing Hodgson in Hodgson, and it's a big game for us. And Hodgson wanted the game too. They were the number 1 seed at the time, and they wanted the points. And I don't know. I just I came out on fire, I guess.
Straight J.R. Smith right there.
Yeah, I think I missed my first couple shots, and then after that I went on a tear. I ended up finishing 9 for 13, I believe. But yeah, first half 4 went in. I don't even remember the whole thing, honestly. You know, I watched the game over again, and you know, guys are in my face, and they're still going in.
You pulling up from deep, or were they right in line?
No, they were in line, or maybe a half a step back. It wasn't too far.
Yeah.
But I didn't care if somebody was standing in front of me or not. You know, it was just
one of those nights.
Yeah, I was shooting, and then the next day I ran into Irene Murphy. She was my biology teacher, and she goes, "I saw you smile 3 times in that game." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because I'm pretty serious on the court, and I don't. She's like, I said, "What, 7, 8, and 9?" She goes, "No, you've made 7 a few times. It was 8, 9, and the 10th one that you missed." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll give her that."
Yeah. Any other games from that year stand out? Any of the big game? Well, you mentioned the Ryan Martin buzzer beater.
Yeah. For the most part, the rest of the games were handled pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, we held off Hodgson both times we faced them. Then we ended up playing them in the counties, because back then we had counties for.
That was a thing?
That was a thing. Yeah,
wow.
we played those teams in the counties, and we beat them again in the counties. They were so pissed to lose 3 times.
So like the county tournament, was it regardless of class or
no? It was. I think they played A versus D for some reason. Don't ask me why. And B versus C.
Just the top team from
the top team from each, and that was kind of the exhibition game. Yeah. But
but learning new things.
Yeah, I can't remember if we did that junior year too, or if that was just senior year. But I got that on video for you too, if you want.
I will take every game you have. We're gonna get an incredible library going, full of stuff here.
Yeah.
So you finished 15-3, 9-pointer game, 3-pointer game. Ryan Martin buzzer beater. We haven't talked about the crosstown. Well, not like the crosstown, but the Cross Valley rivalry. Madawaska, was it even a rivalry back then, or were you guys handling them?
Well, we handled them pretty good. They tried to make it a rivalry. You had Eddie Marshall and I think it was Ryan Sear.
Did you play against John Clavette at all?
No, he was...
Or he's the oldest, right? No, was Pete. Pete's the oldest.
Pete's the oldest, but John, I think, was a year or two older as well. I think Lonnie probably played against him. But, us, it was pretty much Eddie Marshall and a few other guys. And
didn't you guys just handle them? It wasn't even a rivalry.
It was a rivalry once we're doing shaking hands at the end of the line, and Eddie decides to bag tag Corey. And that got a little heated. Yeah. I
feel like that whole rivalry thing is just going back and forth. Like, it just goes through phases where it's one-sided. It's like you guys handle your business like for that 4-year stretch, and then when it was like Clavette and Cooper and them, they were like in charge for like 4 or 5 years, and then like when I was around, we never lost to them. So like we went like 5 years without ever losing to them, and then it kind of just swings back and forth.
Yeah, and we never even played Wisdom. They're the closest high school to us, and we just never played them. They were 2 classes down, so we didn't play them.
Did you guys have the preseason tournament back then, the Twin River Classic?
No. We had a holiday classic that we'd go to. We used to go to the Valhalla tournament in Canada. That was a lot of fun. And then we'd do the Skank tournament over in Millinocket.
Yeah.
We'd go to that one at Christmas time.
Must be a good one, too.
Yeah, that was a good one. Skank at the time had Tom Jamo, and he was a lights-out shooter himself. And we played Orono down there, which was fitting because we ended up playing them in the playoffs.
Yeah, so you guys were playing, like, with preseason, all that stuff, like 20, 22 games, 23 games?
By the time it was said and done, yeah, probably at least 23, 24, yeah.
So you mentioned playing Orono in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I went to that game. Wait. Did you guys win the semifinals here?
Yeah, that was the semifinal game. The quarterfinal, we played Stearns.
Yeah, so I went to both those games.
Yeah.
And
actually, I saw you on the video.
Oh, I'm going to have to see the video then. So tell me about the environment, playing in the auditorium.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
No, and like not everyone gets to experience it. So
it's goosebumps, man. It's you look on your side, and everyone you know from town is there. You have a complete side of green players. Green parents, I should say, and fans. And it's first time when we play on a hoop that's not connected to a wall. You know, it's a lot of free space in there. It's shooting itself is just
shooter,
different.
Right? Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, definitely.
Luckily for me, my senior year, we made it. My first 2 threes, corner threes, bang bang.
Same.
And then I didn't make a shot the rest of the game. I hit one more 3, but that was it.
Yeah.
But so you guys beat Stearns in the first game, and then lose to Orono.
Yeah.
In the second game.
Yeah, that was a tough one. We had played them in the Skank tournament, like I said, and they had beat us there too, which caught us off guard because we weren't expecting it, I guess, and we learned a lot about them. But they came out and they played us tough.
Yeah. You guys were the higher seed, though, right?
We were the higher seed. I think at that point it was just a 3-4 matchup, though, or
2-3 maybe.
3-6, I guess, or something like that. But we knew they were tough because we had already lost to them once.
Yeah.
And we had scrimmaged them another time, now that I think about it, in the preseason, and we lost to them there too.
Mm.
We had gone down to Orono, and they handled us pretty good too. They had Jason White.
Where he played? He went to Husson, I think?
I think he ended up. I think he did go to Husson after. Yeah, but they had a few good little players, and they just came out and they shut us down. We couldn't do what we wanted to, and yeah, they kind of ran our way with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough way to go out.
It was pretty heartbreaking when, you know, for us personally, we had so many expectations for ourselves and hopes and dreams, and it just,
and it just ends like that. And
that's
it.
just kind of shit out.
Yeah, and then you just kind of wait till baseball season.
Yep. Yeah.
So what was baseball season like the rest of your high school career? Did you guys ever make any noise? Or?
My freshman year, we made the prelim game. We went down to Ellsworth. We had a few players that might or might not have been hungover. The starting pitcher gave up 9 runs in the first.
Ooh.
And we lost 10-2.
Yeah.
So if we could have skipped the first inning, we would have done all right. But
yeah.
And I think maybe my senior year we might have had a prelim game, and we didn't really do much with it either. It was just, like I said, we were middle of the pack, 8-8 club. That's about it.
I feel like everyone that I've talked to that played baseball, like, might not have been the best teams, but it was just fun hanging out with your friends. Like,
it was a blast. Like, I don't know, junior and senior year, like Eric Raymond and I were just unconscious.
Yeah.
My junior year, I hit over 500, had like 7-8 bombs, and then Eric was lower in the batting average, and he had a bunch of bombs too.
Yeah.
And come senior year, the stat lines were reversed. My average was lower with more homers, and he came out and he was the one hitting 500, and you know, it was just, he was hitting balls onto the roof of the high school. I mean, it was nuts to watch him hit.
He has an absolutely beautiful swing as well.
He idolized Griffey, and he mimicked the swing. it was just something to see.
Just picture perfect.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
got to get Eric on the show at some point.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to Ethan's got all kinds of questions. Another round of Ethan Asks big time questions on Big Time.
We haven't had a whole. My brother Eric wanted me to ask this one. Did you see more pitches to hit in high school baseball once you had a prolific lefty bat in the lineup to protect you?
Who would he be referring to right there?
Oh, he'd be referring to himself.
Okay.
And he was good protection for sure. Yeah, I don't think seeing more balls or strikes really mattered to me. I kind of swung wherever it was, but yes, Eric, you did protect me.
Shout out to Eric Raymond. Those Raymonds, good people.
Definitely.
What were you guys doing for fun once you guys got to high school? Were you guys going to Canada at all, or pit parties, or what was the deal?
We did a few pit parties. We spent a lot of time in Canada.
Yeah.
You know, it was easy to cross back then. Mm-hmm. Corey Thibodeau had a minivan. As many people as you could pack in that is what was going to La Cassielle or Round Point or Koskins. Yeah.
Just a bunch of classy establishments, just legendary.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you graduated class in '96, legendary class, a bunch of star athletes. What happened with Jason after high school?
Oh, after high school, I went to Franklin Pierce in New Hampshire. It's a D2 school. I walked on to play baseball and made the starting 9 and played 3.5 years there. I didn't finish my senior year. But yeah, I just had a blast watching a D2 program grow from complete shit. You know, a team that was a 9-32 team season to, you know, we were finishing 500 by the time I left. And then the coach that came in, Jason King, he just brought that program to national status. I mean, Franklin Pierce is just known as a good baseball school now for D2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun seeing that.
Yeah. College experience was good?
Yeah, it was a blast. I mean, if you were on the baseball team, we didn't have fraternity, so if you were on the baseball team, that was the fraternity.
Yeah.
You never planned a party, you just had one every night.
Yeah.
And, I actually forgot about that, but my freshman year, I was welcomed in by Liz Nelson from Holton.
Oh.
She was a big basketball player. She played at Franklin Pierce, and she just took me under her wing and kind of showed me the right way to do things over there. And what a classy lady she is.
Yeah. It's a good experience.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
And you mentioned doing some coaching now. So you would have graduated college in 2000 to 2018. What have we got in between?
Oh God, lots of softball, men's league softball stuff. I lived in Massachusetts for 6-7 years, and I played right from April until the snow flew.
Yeah.
They had a frostbite league that we'd play in, and I'd play on 3 or 4 teams a year, and did a lot of that. Played in a wooden bat baseball league, the Cranberry League, for a couple of years. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was different. Hadn't done a whole lot of wooden bat experience. That makes you learn the game the right way.
A little bit different.
Yeah. It's not like swinging aluminum.
Yeah.
And then after that, brought my family up here about 8 years ago.
I was going to say, when did you move back?
Yeah, it was about 8-9 years ago, 2009, 2010, something like that.
Yeah.
And just started coaching Little League once I got here. My son wanted me to coach, and did Little League, middle school baseball, and now for the last 3 seasons I've been helping Tracy Hart out with the varsity team up here. And
You just waiting your time until he steps down so you can take over the program? Or
don't even need that. I just like to be there and have fun with the kids and show them how to play ball the right way. And, you know.
Happy to be back home, or was that always the plan to come back home? Or
No, it wasn't always the plan. But I am happy that we're here. It's a great place to raise kids.
Yeah.
We were growing up in the shitholes of Massachusetts where, you know, the second you left your house, you were worried about your kids being outside alone and stuff like that. And you come here and the kids take off on bike. I mean, there's aren't too many places you can still do that kind of thing.
The door's unlocked, or going to the store, keep your car running, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
It's a great place. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be here forever, but it's the right place to raise the kids.
Yeah. Not a bad place to raise the kids.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Big Bro Charlito to come through with our sponsored segment. Charlito Wonders, brought to you by Rock's Family Diner. Go check them out. Weekday specials every day of the week. The best whoopie pies in town. And when it comes to put-ins, it gets no better. Charlito Wonders, brought to you by Rock's Family Diner.
Yo, J-Ned, what up, man? It's Charlito out here in Halifax. Yo, you'll probably go down, in my opinion, as one of the purest three-point shooters that I've ever seen. Do you think these skills were kind of developed over the years, or were they kind of acquired at the basketball courts on the Clover Hill days? Remember you shooting some threes. Pretty smooth jumper there, too. And also, since you're such a smooth jump shot, how's your beard eye game? Like, do you think you're one of the better beard eye players you've ever encountered? And I guess along those lines, I'm just wondering, like, who would be the best beard eye player you've ever played against? That's like Forcan, St. John Valley, of course. All right, man. Hope life's good. Peace out, my dude.
Well, Charles coming through with multiple questions. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I like it. I'll go to the beard eye one. Yeah, I wasn't too bad at beard eye. But there were definitely a lot of people that played a lot more than I did. I used to go, when I come home, I'd visit people, and they'd have plunk boards with 100 plunks on the on the board, and I didn't quite play to that extent. But the best beard eye player I ever played against was probably Chad Bushy. That guy could be 36 beers deep, and he'd still be catching him with his eyes closed. So that, as far as beard eye goes, and as far as the shooting goes, I just played all the time, man. I just from a very young age loved basketball, and once I could hit 5 in a row from the free throw line, I'd take a couple steps back, I'd hit 5 in a row there, and I'd keep working my way back, and next thing you know, you could take a flat-footed jump shot from the jump circle at midcourt. You know, that's how I just expanded. I just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, kids. Repetition, repetition, repetition.
That's right.
That's all it is. It's repetition.
Put some time in.
That's all it is. So that's going to do it for this week's episode of Big Time.
Big time.
Big Time with Jason Nadeau. Jason, thank you for letting us do this.
Thanks for having me, man. I've listened to every episode so far.
What's your favorite episode so far?
Oh, the legs one probably. I got a kick out of legs. Holy crap!
Yeah.
You know, he. I didn't know that much about him. He used to watch all our games from the sidelines, like you guys always just talk about. But yeah, I didn't know.
The thing with legs is, as soon as we got done, he was like, "Tom, you didn't even ask me about bowling." He's like, "I was a way better bowler than I was a baseball player."
That's right. They all did men's league in Clare.
Yeah. And so like a week later, like I've known Legs forever, and he routinely sends me mail. Like he'll just send me newspaper clippings and stuff like that. And like a week after we got done this episode, he sent me like 3 or 4 like archived St. John Valley Times articles about him being a bowler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then he called me and he said, "I want to do an episode with my brother Arms." So
yeah, that'd be a
I'm gonna
riot.
get him and Arms on the episode at some point. But
Yeah. Which reminds me, you should have Tom Pelletier do one.
He's already agreed to it. I just got to line up the time. So we got some.
That's a legend right there.
Yeah, we got some legends that are going to be coming on. So. Yeah, Jason's been a big supporter since day one. So thank you for doing it. Thank you for being a supporter. And let me get my hands on some of these game tapes here. And
we'll get them when we're done with this.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for this week's episode. Thank you for listening. Make sure to check iTunes and YouTube to check out all the previous episodes. That's it for this week's episode with Jason Nadeau.